Welcome back to Backcountry Amateur Radio. Thanks for joining me. This is about my winter field day experience, which was simply Sunday morning. I hit the trail about 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time and got to the top around 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time.
It's 8 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, I believe, negative 13 Celsius. And I got my HT stuff in my pocket, HF rig all wrapped up, all nice and warm in a down sleeping bag and a case, and just headed up. This is less winter field day and more winter field morning for me, this guy. So Backcountry Amateur Radio, getting after it. A little late in the game, but it's all right.
Continuing on, I was able to use the summer trail, which was covered in snow. Thankfully, snowmobiles had used it, so it was much easier for me than I had expected to hike. It was at some point, though, much more difficult when I started to bushwhack, expecting it to be more of a shortcut, and the snow got deeper, which became much more painstaking to travel. Anyway, it was beautiful, and the snow was gorgeous, and I was alone there in the woods, which was a very austere feeling.
Well, the sun's out. Still got the rig in the bag. I gained some ridiculous elevation, but see that view behind me? Snow's deep up here, probably 1.5 meters. It's really pretty out.
I made slow, arduous progress through the deep snow and fell short on time, so I came to a meadow at about 1700 Zulu and decided that it was time to set up, otherwise I was going to run out of time to operate during the rest of winter field day. So, in this next picture, it shows you just how short I came to my destination. I wanted to be on top of that summit, and I ended up in an open meadow, which was still beautiful.
All right, so this is my field station. Used my sleeping bag to kind of insulate everything from the snow. And may not be the cleanest, but I also have that little kind of vapor barrier that I built for the radio, and it's actually kept at pretty good temperature. So where I had it placed in my bag and the container and I was able to maintain some good temperature on the radio, so it never really got cold. This is the antenna. Sounds good. All right, I'll let you know. I'll talk to you soon. Love you too.
Maintaining one's comfort when you're outside, especially in the snow, requires constant vigilance, checking your resources, and in this case, I needed water. So melting snow was my way of doing that, but I didn't have a good way to properly cool the water after it had been heated, so I put the kettle in the snow in order to make it drinkable. So that's just one aspect of maintaining the comfort. Other bits of comfort, the shelter was nice shade, but I also had to have a place to sit to operate the radio.
November 5, Lima, Papa Tango. November. Sometimes I have a mouth on my waist card, so
CQ Winter Field Day, CQ Winter Field Day. This is Kilo India 7, Whiskey Juliet Papa. CQ Winter Field Day, CQ Winter Field Day, Kilo India 7, Whiskey Juliet Papa.
Calling CQ Winter Field Day, Kilo Echo 0, Quebec Yankee Alpha, calling CQ.
Kilo India 7, Whiskey Juliet Papa.
Kilo India 7 station, please come again.
Kilo India 7, Whiskey Juliet Papa, Winter Field Day.
Okay, so a recap on kind of what happened out there in the field. I was able to establish my camp, which wasn't really a camp. I call it a camp because it looks like a camp, and it was my base is where I spent a bunch of time. I was able to make 4 contacts, and I was extremely high elevation. My longest contact, or most distant contact, from the Wasatch Mountains all the way down to an operator operating parks on the air near Corpus Christi
in Texas, and that was almost 1,200 miles. So that was really, really cool to get that kind of distance. For me, that is probably my longest contact, and it was a good QSO. He said I was coming in 5.7, which I was really happy about, considering I really didn't have my antenna oriented his direction, and I was running 15 watts. And it wasn't super high off the ground. The antenna was probably, the high point was probably 23 feet off the ground. And then it was a sloper, so it came down to about 8 feet off the ground. But it was really cool to be out there, and I'm super grateful I was able to communicate with people. I was able to be heard, and I could respond. It was a little frustrating to be using low power and having these home stations come in, and they were very, very powerful. The audio was almost overmodulated on my radio speaker, on my transceiver speaker. So that was a little tough to deal with. And I would find that I had to release the idea of getting a lot of contacts in the hour and a half that I had left. So I did talk to one of my friends on what's called Intertie here in Utah, which is a repeater system that connects Boise and Bozeman and places in between there, down to Salt Lake, down into Vegas, and I've even heard people calling in from the Mojave Desert. So I was able to talk to one of my friends using just an HT on 2 meter. That was fun. That was really a lot of fun. I will do this again, and I hope that every year I do it, it gets better and it's a better experience, and I can learn more and share more about it. So thanks for joining me. Thank you for all the recent subscribers. And again, at 650 subscribers, we're going to do a giveaway of the Radioddity GS5B radio that I've been using for the last little bit, probably about 8 months or so. It's been a fun radio, and I'm excited to give it to one of you guys. All right, see you down the trail.